page 117. Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Mahadeva.
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 Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Sada Shiva.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Sada Shiva.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Sada Shiva.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Sada Shiva.
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Yengal Jyoti Rama Krishna.
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 Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara,
Jaya Shiva Omkara, Jaya Jaya Bhaja Shiva Omkara.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Hara 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 Mahadeva.
Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara,
शिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा हर 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 सदा शिवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा எங்கள் ஜோதி ராமா கிருஷ்ணா
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा एंगल ज्योति राम कृष्णा
जय शिवा ओंकारा जय जय भज शिवा ओंकारा
जय शिवा ओंकारा जय जय भज शिवा ओंकारा ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय
On page 40, लंबोदराहि विघ्नेश्वरा लंबोदराहि विघ्नेश्वरा शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शिव शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शिव शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
अंबिका तनया ओंकारेश्वरा
अम्बिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा
अंबिका तनया ओंकारेश्वरा
अम्बिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा
निरंग विघ्नेश्वरा
हे रंग विघ्नेश्वरा
विघ्नेश्वरा
हे रंग विघ्नेश्वरा
लंबोदराहि विघ्नेश्वरा
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा
शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शिव शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शिव शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
शिव शंभो कुमारा विघ्नेश्वरा
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
मोरया रे बाप्पा मोरया रे
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
मोरया रे बाप्पा मोरया रे
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
मोरया रे बाप्पा मोरया रे
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
मोरया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
गणपति बापा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया,
गणपति बाप्पा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया,
गणपति बापा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया,
गणपति बाप्पा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बप्पा मोरिया रे,
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
Page 61.
59. Music is 59. Page 59.
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा,
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 हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा,
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा,
रामचंद्र का तुम्हें हो दुलारा,
रामचंद्र का तुम ही हो दुलारा,
तीन लोक का तुम्हें हो उजाला,
तीन लोक का तुम ही हो उजाला,
सोना के लंका जराते हुए हनुमंत बाबा,
सोना के लंका जराते हुए हनुमंत बाबा,
हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
हनुमंत बाबा, हनुमंत बाबा,
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा,
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा,
अंजनी पवन का तुम्ही हो प्यारा,
अंजनी पवन का तुम ही हो प्यारा,
भक्त जनों का तुम्ही हो सहारा,
भक्त जनों का तुम ही हो सहारा,
साधु संत के तुम रखवारा,
साधु संत के तुम रखवारा,
आपका नाम सुनाते चलो हनुमंत बाबा,
राम का नाम सुना
बाबा हनुमंत बाबा
हनुमंत बाबा हनुमंत बाबा
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा
संकट से हमको बचाना
संकट से हमको बचाना
राम की भक्ति सबको दिलाना
राम की भक्ति सबको दिलाना
भक्तों की भक्ति बढ़ाते चलो हनुमंत बाबा
भक्तों की भक्ति बढ़ाते चलो हनुमंत बाबा
हनुमंत बाबा हनुमंत बाबा
हनुमंत बाबा हनुमंत बाबा
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा
अंजनी के पुत्र महाबली है हनुमंत बाबा
राम राम बोलो सिया राम बोलो
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 राम राम बोलो सिया राम बोलो ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters, brothers, and loving children. We are very, very happy to have you here this morning and welcome you most heartily. The little children may go to their classes. We are very, very happy that this week Dr. Usha Vastare was able to stay here at Mother's Ashram, share her knowledge, share her cooking and delicious breakfast dishes, which was very enjoyable. And today, Ma will speak on spiritual heritage. I lovingly invite Ma to present her talk.
संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My loving pranams at the feet of the Holy Trio. My loving pranams to revered Ishtaprana Mataji. My loving pranams to the devotees and seekers of knowledge. Today's talk is for you to make you think. You know, it is about the way we live. It tells us everything. It's not just about the way we live, but it is also about the way we leave this world when our time is over. Tells us everything. So let's see how we can connect to this special day, Heritage Day of South Africa. When I looked into what does it mean for South Africans to celebrate Heritage Day, when I looked into the white paper on arts, culture and heritage that was revised in 1996, it talked about 3 types of heritages: historical heritage, cultural heritage and natural heritage. That was a lot. So I wanted to make it simpler for me to understand, to see what is heritage. So I went into Oxford English Dictionary to see what is heritage. Very simply, heritage is something that can be passed on from one generation to another, something that can be conserved, something that can be inherited, and that something has some historical and cultural value. That is what I understood from this. But heritage means, that is all? Is that all about heritage? I thought to myself, that shouldn't be all. There is much more to it than historical, cultural and natural heritage. So, you know by now, no talk will go without this slide. Some of you recognize that too with your look on your face. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So I went deeper into knowing what is this heritage, what we are talking about. Then I understood we need to bring heritage and legacy together. Heritage is about what we inherit from our parents, from our ancestors, from our country, and legacy is what we leave behind us. And we may not have thought about it this way. Our habitat, that is Mother Earth, motherland, what in Sanskrit we call it, Matrubhumi. It's not just India that is our Matrubhumi. It is not just South Africa that is our Matrubhumi. We have to feel wherever we are, it should be our Matrubhumi because it is Mother Earth. That is our habitat. Not only our habitat, but habitat for all the flora and fauna of all the animals and plants. This Mother Earth is our habitat. But how are we taking care of this habitat? Because humanity is destroying this habitat, which is our own. So what is the legacy that we are going to leave behind, the way we are treating Mother Earth as though there is no tomorrow? When we have to look at it this way, yes, I have to bring in some science, right? Even that you know by now. That is, until and unless we as humans, as a race, as humanity, if we do not develop and evolve, then what is the kind of legacy we're going to leave behind? As much as we should be proud of the heritage that we bring in, we should be even more proud and be concerned about the legacy that we leave behind. I just took the example of Mother Earth because it is kind of value neutral. We can all understand about the environment. But I would all of you to keep thinking about the legacy that we leave behind in terms of our values, in terms of what we have learned. That's an open-ended question for you to reflect upon later. So, what is that heritage? It has to be our spiritual heritage. Mind you, I didn't say religious heritage, I didn't say Hindu heritage, I didn't say Christian heritage. It is spiritual heritage, which is beyond any one particular religion. So that we move from being citizens of one country to global citizens and still evolve ourselves to be awakened citizens. By the way, there is a program by this Awakened Citizen that is initiated by Ramakrishna Math and Mission in Delhi, as you already know, Mataji. So we need to move from being citizens of one country to global citizens to awakened citizens. When that happens, the humanity itself would take a profound turn in the direction of acceptance, unity, respect, and peace with respect to other human beings, other living beings, and also not just living beings, but also things that we use every day, non-living things, and also with the environment. All of this, ultimately, we need to bring harmony. If you ask me one thing, what is it that our master stood for? I would just pick one. Of course, it is God realization. We all know that. He says in such terms, for us to understand at our level how to implement that in our day-to-day lives, it is just single word, harmony. This has to be our spiritual heritage. And you see, it does not limit to just people in this shrine. It does not limit to just people of Indian origin, just does not limit to Hindus, but for the entire humanity itself. So spiritual heritage is not about just one nation, one religion, but of humanity itself. So how do we go about? Again, I go back to simple things what Vivekananda has talked about, what Holy Mother has talked about, what our Master lived and showed us. We all know this, what Vivekananda talked about, education. It is the manifestation of perfection that is already in man. If this is the definition of education, do you think it restricts to only students? But lot of times we focus only for the youth. And we have already limited in India, if you ask me, by declaring Vivekananda's Jayanti or birthday as National Youth Day. If you look at this definition, do you think this just restricts to just youngsters? This is about lifelong education, not just when you are students. And going further, look at the another way what Vivekananda has talked about. He says we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, and the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. Again, does this restrict to education while we are in school and college? This is lifelong education for kids, for youth, for women, for homemakers, for professionals, for retirees, and for sadhus. So, this is not just for youth. Let us not limit Vivekananda giving his message just for the youth. This is the spiritual heritage he talked about, and what Shankaracharya talked about Jnana Yoga, he's saying in such simple terms in education, defining education in this way. This is the Jnana Yoga for us to be able to implement in our day-to-day lives, irrespective of our age, socio-economic, educational background. So spiritual heritage, I'm just going to touch upon everything today, not going into deeper. We can try and see how we can just think about the meaning and purpose of life, and the legacy of faith, and the power of prayer. Just keep this in the back of your mind when go through the rest of the talk. I'm going to go through these through stories. And why? Why stories? Again, some scientific angle, right? Because our brains are wired to understand and retain stories. And we experienced this last night in a beautiful way with so much joy and mirth, because our brains are wired to understand and retain through stories. So the stories I'm going to bring about is just a couple of stories. It's just a prelude to understanding Vedanta. It's just not even introduction, a prelude to understanding Upanishads or Vedanta. And I don't know how many of you have heard about Mullah Nasruddin. He's a character in the folklore of the Muslim world. He's a philosopher and a satirist. And he's known for his sense of humor. And he brings in solutions to mundane and crucial problems alike through his witty nature. And the town square where Mullah Nasruddin lived was quite crowded that day. Then all of a sudden, Nasruddin came galloping through this market square on his donkey. It looked like he was about to fall off. He was barely holding on to the reins, while struggling to keep his turban on his head. Nobody had ever seen Nasruddin on his donkey move that fast. So one of his friends yelled as Nasruddin rode by, "Hey there, Nasruddin, just where are you going in such a hurry?" And Nasruddin shouted a reply as the donkey galloped fast, "I honestly don't know where I'm going. You need to ask my donkey," he says. Funny, right? It is funny. But many a times, for most of us, we go through lives just like this hero Nasruddin in the story. We go through in an automatic way. The parents put us in school, and we know after school we need to college because education is the ticket for everything. And from college we know we need to get a job. And after that, maybe a dream car before getting married, and buy a house, and of course have children. Nothing wrong with any of this. But this is how we go through life in an automatic way. But it is time to live a deliberate life as conscious and global citizens. And let this Heritage Day help us to truly figure out how to live a purposeful life, leaving this earth a better place than when we arrived in each and every way. So, couple of quotes by Vivekananda. He says, "Have faith in yourself. All the power is within you, and be conscious and bring it out." He goes on to say, "You be the creator of your own destiny." Another way of saying, lead a deliberate and conscious life. You be the creator of your own destiny. He also says, you can't believe in God until you believe in yourself. Right? What is that believing in ourselves? What is that having faith in ourselves mean? Again, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at will change. So which perspective do we choose from to understand those sayings of Swami Vivekananda? We know usually there are two solutions, a temporary solution and a permanent solution. Of course, we don't need any help to get the temporary solution, but when we are here in a place like this, we come here at least to understand what that permanent solution is, right? So let us try and see what is that permanent solution is. Which is, again, to understand those sayings of Vivekananda, we have to go a little bit deeper into Vivekananda's sayings and say, this is our spiritual heritage. Just three simple aspects, three simple points, that we are all potentially divine. And the goal and purpose of life is to manifest this divinity that is already within us. And the goal and purpose of our lives is also to help manifest the divinity in others too. This is what I call this as nothing but Viveka Vedanta. All those Upanishads, they say it's many, at least we have 108 Upanishads now, out of that 10 principal Upanishads wherein the commentaries have been written by great acharyas. All of that we can simply put in these 3 points, all that Upanishad message, which I call as Viveka Vedanta. Let's understand this, at least the first aspect of that we are all potentially divine by this story of the missing 10th man. You know the story, but I'll go through this really quickly. There was once a group of 10 young boys, all students of the same teacher, and all living at the same Gurukula. One day, the teacher suggested that the boys travel to a neighboring hermitage to receive teachings from another guru. He made the eldest of the boys the leader in charge of the safety of the other students. This second hermitage was on the other side of a river, so the 10 boys had to cross the river to arrive at that teaching place. They somehow crossed the river with great difficulty as they found the river a bit deeper and fast moving. The leader decided that he should count to make sure all the 10 of them had crossed the river. So you know the story. So he made them stand in line and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my goodness, what happened? Where is the 10th man? He was concerned. So maybe I didn't count it right, so he counts again. One more time, 2 more times. And he concluded, we were 10 to begin with, now there are only 9, so the other person must have drowned in the river. So they all start weeping and grieving for that loss of their classmate. Luckily, a villager had been observing the scene from afar, and after having a good chuckle, his bafflement transformed into compassion. The stranger approached the boys, and after hearing their sad story of the apparent death of the 10th boy, offered himself to count, made them all stand, counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, you are the 10th boy, he said to the leader of the group. You had just forgotten to count yourself, at which point all those students, those young boys, heaved a sigh of relief and continued on their journey. In this story, the 10th man represents our pure awareness, the witness of everything, the Atman or God. Because pure awareness or Atman is not a thing, not a phenomena, identifiable through any shape, color, size, time, place, and so on, we forget to count. Although there is nothing there to count, it's not a thing, we forget to account for it. Though it seems simple, it is impossible to get this understanding for ourselves. We need a guru to make us understand and to remind us, you are pure awareness and you are the 10th man. But it's not that easy and so simple. We keep looking for God or that pure awareness outside of us when He is already within us. It's not possible to feel and experience that pure awareness all the time because it is in the potential form. We need to learn to manifest this pure awareness by first tolerating others, then accepting others, and embracing others. And it seems quite relevant to remember Holy Mother's message that God cannot be realized without love. Yes, without sincere love, ahaitu priti, it is not possible to realize God. So all we need to do is to learn to love all and serve as though there is no other, because there is no other. As again Holy Mother says, there is no stranger, my child. So this concept is so simple to understand, but yet difficult. So I want to hone in with another story of Princess of Kashi. Long, long ago in India, there was a kingdom near Kashi. The king and queen had a prince. The prince was handsome, confident, smart, and he was being trained in the affairs of the land. One day, while wandering through the palace, the prince found a set of stairs leading to the basement and decided to explore what was in there. He chanced upon a painting of a little girl dressed up in royal clothes. Underneath was written, "The Princess of Kashi." Looking at the date, he realized that the princess would be the same age as he. She was so pretty that the prince fell in love with her. He decided he would marry no one else but that princess of Kashi. Like any young man in love, he became preoccupied with thoughts of the princess of Kashi, and he lost his focus on his princely duties. The king and queen noticed the change in his mood and behavior, and they were concerned. When they asked him what was wrong, he was too shy to tell them. Finally, a kind old minister met the prince and asked him, "Oh, my dear son, what is wrong with you? Why are you not yourself these days?" After gently assuring the prince that he would keep his secret, the minister was able to coax a reply out of the prince. "Oh, my dear minister, I am in love," said the prince bashfully. "Oh, that's great news," said the minister. "Who is she? Where is she? Tell us." "Oh, she's the princess of Kashi. I saw a painting of her in the basement, and the date of the painting shows that she would be around 20 years old, just like me, and I just want to marry her and no one else." On hearing these words, the minister fell silent and started to think. He knew he had heard of the princess of Kashi before, but couldn't remember where and when. So he asked, "Can you please show me the painting?" The prince took him down to the basement, and when the minister saw the painting, he immediately recognized the princess. Placing his hand on the shoulder of the prince, the kind-hearted minister made him sit down, looked him in the eye, and said in a serious tone, "I have to tell you something, my prince." "Oh, what is it?" asked the prince, sensing that something was wrong. "You can't marry that girl," said the minister. "Oh, why not?" the prince asked, alarmed. "Is she already married? Is she dead?" The minister then told him the story of the play that was staged 15 years back, and how he, the prince, was dressed up as a girl and made to play the role of the princess of Kashi, as there was no little girl in the palace. Yes, it is so funny. He looked so adorable as a princess that the queen ordered a painting to be made of him. And when the painting was done, the artist wrote "Princess of Kashi" and dated it. "Oh, dear prince, you can't marry her because you are the princess of Kashi." The prince staggered back, baffled and in shock as he heard the minister's words. On realizing the truth that the princess of Kashi didn't exist outside of him, that he himself was what he was yearning for. See, we look for God outside of us, thinking he is in a place called heaven. Not that it is wrong. That is the only way we as young children can fathom God. But as we grow older, we are capable of understanding, at least at an intellectual level, what the two stories depict, that what we are looking for is already within us. Once we can understand this beyond any doubt, then we can go deeper and ask ourselves, yes, I can understand this at an intellectual level, but I don't feel it. I don't experience it all the time, and I don't even behave like it all the time. When such questions arise, then the true journey begins. A journey of truly going inward to figure this one out. This highest truth, if we understand without any doubt at an intellectual level, we may apply this at a mundane level for looking for happiness and for resolving interpersonal issues. And the least we can apply for looking for solutions within us rather than expecting the other person to change. So we know our spiritual heritage. We understood that we are all potentially divine. But the other two aspects, how is it possible to manifest this divinity first within us and help manifest this divinity within others too, right? When we get these questions and doubts, how is this possible to do? Again, I'm just going to end with this story that probably you know this already. I'll make it as short as possible. There were young girl, just like you. The mother tells the girl, look at these 4 candles that are lit in this room. Make sure they always stay lit. And the mother goes away. And the little girl, looks at these 4 candles and they were burning bright. Looks at those candles for a few minutes and gets bored and then goes out to play outside. And these 4 candles start having a discussion and conversing with each other. The first candle says, I am faith. But these days there is hardly any faith. People don't even have faith in themselves. Then how can they have faith in God? Like Swami Vivekananda says. So there's hardly any faith. So I cannot be burning. And that flame dies off. And the next candle goes, I am love. These days, there is always conditional love. Even the parents love their kids because they want their kids to take care of them when they are old. Everybody loves each other only because it is conditional love. There is no unconditional love anymore in this world. So I cannot keep burning, and that flame goes off too. And the third candle says, I am peace. And there's hardly any peace in the world outside. There is hardly any peace in the hearts of people. There is so much anxiety about the future, what is going to happen. And when there is anxiety, there is no place for peace there. There is no place within our hearts, and there is no peace within the family, within the community, within the society, within the nation, and in humanity. How in the world can I be burning? And that also goes off. And at that time, the little girl runs to the room and sees all those 3 candles were off, gone. And she starts crying. And at that moment, the 4th candle says, Don't cry, my child. I am still there. I am hope. As long as you have hope, you can light up anything. You can bring back life to not just candles, anything in the humanity itself. So the little girl takes that candle of hope and lights up the other 3 candles. So let us not look back with regret, but live forward with hope. And to conclude, we are all potentially divine. This is our spiritual heritage. And Ramakrishna, our master, stood for harmony, the epitome of harmony. That is what our master Sri Ramakrishna stood for. So our spiritual heritage should be to bring harmony in our lives. How do we do that? A call for action for all of us. First, bring harmony within yourselves. Let there be harmony between our thought, our speech, and our action. And from there should be harmony within the family, within the society, within the nation, and harmony within the humanity itself. And we cannot just stop there. And the harmony again with the environment itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Usha Vastare. Thank you very much. Dear sisters and brothers, we'll all sing together Deepta Nayanara Vindam, page 23.
Swami Vivekananda, Deeptanayanaravinda, Shri Swami Vivekananda, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Deeptanayanaravinda, Shri Swami Vivekananda, Deeptanayanaravinda, Shri Swami Vivekananda, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Deeptanayanaravinda, Shri Swami Vivekananda, Deeptanayanaravinda, Shri Swami Vivekananda, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Bharat Veera Narendra, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Tam Vande Simhaninada, Tam Vande Simhaninada. Om Shri Ram
let us sit quietly for a few moments and reflect on the power of God within each and every one of us.
Parvati Patay Hara